Now, when setting this up, we need to make sure that the ramp is steep enough so that any flaws in the board itself are minimal or have minimal effect, but shallow enough so that there's no slipping as it goes. Because if this thing were vertical, the object would just slip straight down. All right. So, off to the races. A sphere and a hoop. Yes,
Is the sphere solid?
I believe so.
Okay. What could be hollow?
It could be. I do not know. Which is going to make it down to the bottom first. That's the race. So we have hoop. We have the solid ball. There's a tie. And then neither. All right, have an opinion, even if you have no basis for it whatsoever. Who says the hoop is going to win?
We know the mass of the hoop. Are we given that stuff?
I don't know that, but if you want to give some sort of sense of which one you think is bigger mass.
Which one's heavier?
This one's up here.
All right, so they seem to think that the ball is heavier. That seems reasonable. But I'm usually really poor at that. Yeah. All right. So hoop. Ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tie. Neither? Justin, you didn't express an opinion?
I voted for ball.
Did you? Oh. Somebody did say, or I miscounted.
haven't voted.
Oh, sorry, Justin. I blame you for Ibrahim's issues.
Ball.
And neither is an homage to a Green Arrow comic book I had growing up, where somebody bet that neither hockey team would win, and there was an explosion in the middle and they called off the game. Gosh, what a mystery who the bad guy was. All right. I want to slow down, it's falling off. All right. So to make sure that they leave at the same time, so use this. All right. Apparently, there's a slope to it. 3, 2, 1, go. The ball clearly won that one. I'm gonna, just in case there's board bias. No. Democracy wins, yay. All right.
Which one's heavier? What even is this thing of puck?
Yeah, I suspect it's Bakelite, but
I don't know what it is.
it's a hard polymer.
This one's heavier.
Okay.
Which is up here?
The black one.
I need a scale up. If you don't mind.
You're figuring the wolves that raised Jack for him didn't teach him right?
They look like they have the same kind of like width too.
Yeah, they should be roughly the same size, other than one solid.
Hope you do it smarter.
we'll drop the homage. So, do you agree with Jack?
Yes, sir.
Alright. The wolves taught you well. Have an opinion. Who says the hoop? Who says the disc? Ty? That overwhelming.
Oh, it's the other way around.
Oh wait, no, that was
Yeah.
no, Solomon.
Auxiliary.
That box is about to
Pardon?
The box is gonna fall
Which one did I have closer to you?
off. I think the gray one. Like,
The gray one was closer before? Okay. All right.
yay.
Okay, so democracy wins again. Now, we used to.
I think you should probably just have the weights for him next
The
time.
weight of truth.
I think the ball's heavier.
I mean, I think this is heavier simply because there's more of a concentrated area on my palm. I might be stretching it, but
I think it's the blue one.
I think it's the blue one.
All right, dude,
The Wolves raised him right, so it's the blue one's heavier.
The croquet ball. Croquet.
I suspect that they're really close to each other.
Okay.
All right. Disc. Ball.
Ball steady.
So that's 5 for the ball. Or disc and tie.
I'll do a tie.
After this, I'm gonna ask for patterns, and then we'll see if we can test those out.
Ooh,
I
it was,
think we are close there.
it's-
Switch directions, the sides.
Come on, man.
The ball a little bit ahead that time. The ball was supposed to win. All right, so what's the pattern?
The heavier object goes faster.
I feel like then I feel like they were still very, very similar in my thinking. I think it's because it has less on the
Less point of contact?
less point of contact than the other one,
Area of contact.
area of contact than the other one when it came to that. But when it was the just the two discs, I think the mass, because
All right, so
you're more.
So if I had this and this, which one do you think would make it?
I think, small one.
I feel like the small,
I said the small.
Why the small one?
because like they say less contact. It's the other one's more wide. That one's smaller.
So the less contact, but you were making the argument earlier, like less contact was faster, okay,
Was contact.
so that would be keeping in that. All right, so you're going with the small one?
I'm kind of thinking like when you have like let's just imagine there's a stick in the middle of those. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I feel like when you're turning something that has a stick, it takes more energy to turn the outside of the stick than the inside of the stick. It's closer to the.
Is that in keeping with these?
Yeah, yeah, that.
So
idea.
this has mass out there, this has the mass in here,
Mhm.
and of course, we're off camera, so they'll never know what we're talking about. So this one is much easier to turn back and forth than this one.
That's just my idea. Which I agree with the small one. I think the small one would win.
Alright.
Small.
Small one. Big one. Tie. Apparently, oh, you're a small one?
Yeah.
And did I already count you? Suppose you bet your grade on this. Here we go. Oop. That's bound to have affected something.
Small one.
Small one. This is really my game. I'm winning.
That's the same thing you just did. Better try to reverse them.
Thank you.
Small one.
Yeah.
Because of surface contact?
I think so.
Is that what you're going with?
I don't know if it's that.
And it could be because it's more compressed. I don't know.
The point was correct.
This one's heavier. Even I can tell that.
It looks thicker.
It is thicker than that is. It is. Black on black, that's a good choice. There we go. Small hoop,
No.
large hoop,
Yes.
and tie.
He's dead set on a tie. He really wants a tie.
Dude, I just don't change it. I'm in small.
Oh.
Black one.
Ooh.
Somebody's lunchbox. That's definitely gonna fly out, but.
All right, that was the,
That's the other one. Yep.
It's a tie.
congratulations. So what happened to the point of contact or width or what?
I guess my thinking was that if you have so much on, if you have too much contact, it takes more, it takes more to move it than if you have like fast little bits of contact.
All right, so first off, in terms of Justin?
I was kind of thinking that there's at some point a trade-off between the mass of the object and the friction being caused by the surface contact.
Good, why?
Because the larger the mass, the faster it's gonna roll, but also the larger the surface contact, the more friction that's gonna slow it down.
So does this have more contact than this? It definitely has more mass.
Yes.
So you think therefore that they would go faster, but if also has less contact, so therefore it would go faster?
Then there's probably also a point of the mass distribution that also plays a factor in.
Huh. That would somehow connect with what we were talking about before. It's crazy. All right. So first off, if you think back to the friction formula, the friction formula depends upon the normal force and the surfaces themselves, not the area of the surface. There is a trade-off there that if I've got more area of contact in terms of just normal kinetic and sliding, static friction, the greater the area, the more that weight is distributed. And so there's less pressure between any 2 points if I got a bigger area, but I've got more area, so I've got more points of contact, less friction per point of contact. There's a trade-off there. So the area of the surface does not matter. However, here, I'm assuming that these are perfect rolls. That is one thing that I am assuming. And again, if it made it too steep, definitely there'd be some sliding going on. Not steep enough, the board would start to affect it more. Jack?
You said something about different points of contact, and if it's on the same surface, is the difference in friction between, like, let's just say the left side of a circle and the right side of a circle negligible, or does it affect it that there's two different frictions on them? Because no substance that I know of has like that uniform.
Oh, okay, so you're talking about just manufacturing fluctuations.
Okay.
You're talking about this side is gonna be different than that side?
Yeah, because the table or whatever it's on might have different, I guess, edges or whatever, so it would cause different amounts of friction.
In this particular
That's
case,
what
I think it's negligible. Are there situations where it's not negligible? I always felt that hurricanes was an example of that.
Sure.
That, you notice when hurricanes, they're spiraling around like this, when they hit land, they tend to curve up like that.
Okay.
So as it goes around, suddenly this side is experiencing more friction on the land than this side on the water.
Mhm.
And so it tends to cause it to sort of roll upwards
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to going that way. I've never heard that confirmed by anyone, but that always,
You're right.
the physics
do
mind.
roll up. That's cool.
He's a weatherman too.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for someone to confirm that. But anyway,
The other weatherman or the other one?
that hurricane, that there's friction between her, you can treat it as the friction between hurricane and surface. So in something this small, the differences, there probably are there, but friction coefficients have such big error bars if you actually got into the studies of it, that I think it's sort of washed out in the static noise. All right, so if the idea that heavier, so this one's heavier, and it's got less surface area actually touching. So you would argue that this one would make it down first.
Yes.
Actually, I think that if I could wait to the truth. This definitely heavier.
Yeah, the steel is heavier than the bakelite.
Going back to what Justin said, I feel like it has something to do with their distribution and the distribution of mass.
Okay.
And then if the distribution of mass in one is far more concentrated on the outside, and it's greater in general than the other one, than the other object, then I feel like that object is going to be faster.
The other object? Or this one would be faster because more distribution to the outside?
More distribution to the outside, and I think it just has more mass in general, so that the more mass on the outside, and then that all around, that would be faster.
All right, so that's three votes within itself. So if you're saying it's gonna go down faster because it's heavier, more distribution to the outside, and a smaller points of contact.
Yeah.
Anyone want to question his parentage in the wolves? I guess just questioning not necessarily your parents, but the people who raised you.
Indeed so.
One of these days I gotta hit a nerve on that one, so I apologize if nor raised by coyotes, and
The wolves really got
that's right. Wolves, those bastards.
it.
Oh, nice.
I chatted.
What was that?
I chatted. Yep. I was making it up.
My idea is that steel one that is
Okay. There.
the steel, the black one is heavier, and so all of that, I guess it'd be potential to kinetic energy in a smaller area might not be able to produce as much or like push as much, I guess it'd be momentum out because it doesn't have that much surface area.
All right, I will say that there's been a lot of key words mentioned here. We're about to come up with an answer. First off, weight doesn't matter.
Okay. Does it have to do with
The amount of contact doesn't matter as long as it's a good roll.
Okay.
Distribution of mass is critical. Your analysis was backwards. And there was another point out there that I'm blanking on right now.
Does it have anything to do with inertia?
Yes,
Ooh.
movement of inertia more specifically.
So, going on with that, something heavier as it continue rolling gets faster.
Well, that's,
Until a point.
are you bringing air resistance into it?
No, doesn't it? Everything have a speed where it just no. Doesn't.
Without air resistance, they would just keep going faster and faster. Right? Let's go to the problem.
Okay.
So democracy did not work every time.
Ah.
However, it worked most of the time, which I think is a metaphor for so much. All right.